What's up, everybody? I'm going to be going over teaching multicultural students through Sonia Nieto. Let's get started. So, some background on Sonia. She was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. She got her bachelor's degree in elementary education in 1965. She went on to complete her master's in Hispanic literature overseas in Madrid, Spain, at New York University's graduate program. She began teaching her. She began her teaching career in Brooklyn. She taught junior high English, Spanish, and ESL. So she's pretty experienced in the diverse world of education. Lots of different certain languages and things being taught, different cultures, that kind of stuff. So her first job in higher education was teaching at Brooklyn's College Department of Puerto Rican Studies. She instructed a bilingual education teacher program. So she taught these teachers that were teaching different languages through a couple different languages. She was greatly recognized. She won a lot of awards and had a substantial amount of recognition throughout her career. She's a really good teacher. She's a good teacher of teachers, so we can learn a lot from her for sure. Let's get into what multicultural learning and teaching is. So multicultural teaching and learning is any style of education or instruction that combines the histories, texts, values, beliefs, and viewpoints of persons from many cultural origins. Is referred to as multicultural education. For example, teachers may adjust or include teachings in the classroom to from different cultures and places and different kinds of lifestyles to represent the cultural variety of the students in class. So let's get into Nieto's view on multicultural learning. This is a quote from her. She says, "We who are in the business of teaching future teachers need to expose them to differences of all kinds. We need to help them understand that the differences students embody can't be left outside the classroom door, and that we need to encourage them to find ways to use their students' differences in the service of learning." She believed that this was very important for students because not only the differences help them learn, but it would service their learning as well. She greatly believed that it was important for all the students to be granted these certain social justices in the classroom. She also wanted to make sure all cultures were being represented and given the right access to education and those forms of education, that everything was fair, they were all taught, no one was discriminated against because of their culture. Everyone's welcome in education. So that's pretty basic. We can all agree with that, obviously. And so she had a theory for multicultural education. She believed that when it comes to teaching new material, instructors should start with the information that students already knew and use that as a foundation for expanding on own experiences and learning new ones. And I really agree with this because, and I want to use it in the way I teach, because in order to know these certain things, everyone has to have a base starting point. And obviously, in order to learn, that base has to be there. And to make it more comfortable for these students, especially of many different cultures, it's good to start with something ground that's basic, that most people know, to build off, to help them expand, learn their own new experiences, and find out new ones and new information. She also felt it was very critical to view diversity as an advantage over an issue to overcome. She believed that we should appreciate how others differences may enhance each other's experiences, that students can be great to help each other, build off each other, and those differences that they possess can, in essence, help them learn all together in different ways and different forms. So her teaching philosophy, she had two really big important topics. The first one is you have to learn about yourself when you teach. You have to know about yourself. And this quote is, she says, it means asking about one's biases, hidden or overt, and how they influence one's relationship with students. The result of this kind of deep introspection can be a personal transformation. So when she says this, she's talking about everyone has their certain beliefs and their biases and prior knowledge, that kind of stuff. And when you teach, you have to forget about that. You have to relate to your students. You have to not judge people on certain things. In order to be the best teacher you can, you have to be in peace with yourself and know what's going on in your own mind, to be able to be free of judgment and everything for your students, to be the best communication to them that you can. And second, I think this is the most important thing that we can do, being educators, future educators for sure, is learning about our students and taking time to learn about their culture, learning about their lives, connect with them. Without that, I don't think a student can learn as well as they could. Like, students need a form of connection with their teacher to learn. Without that, it's can be bland and they won't get anything out of it. You gotta, and especially multicultural, if you are different from them than others, you gotta work through those things, talk to them, figure out things about their lives, relate to them, make relationships with these students, and start to form bonds and start to love teaching these students, and kind of vice versa. Like, once you do that, they'll start respecting you more. They'll retain the knowledge more, everything like that. So some strategies that she used in the multicultural classroom is, in order to stimulate their critical thinking, she used certain questions that help students evaluate different perspectives. Like an example would be looking at the Native Americans' perspective on the English people coming in and that kind of stuff. Like, and just having a white kid look at life through perspective of like a Native American kid or a black kid in that class, and seeing certain things through different eyes and different perspectives to help them learn that way. And that kind of relates to going into talking about tough topics on different cultures and social groups reality. These things were tough to discuss sometimes, but she believes it was critical for children to grasp the reality of their peers face, even if they don't live in those comparable situations, just to help them learn and realize that not everyone's the same. No, and through that, they were able to learn about different cultures, help them to be able to respect their peers, and taught them things they probably wouldn't have known before that. But overall, she taught all these things to these students about just this multicultural classroom and all these theories. So we can use her as a good resource to, in the future, when we have to teach these multicultural classrooms, to help relate that to these students. So.